these poor Palestinians who are oppressed against the bombs of Israel are now facing death, and we could not stay back anymore, and we have a $9.5 billion of trade volume between us, and this trade volume is now null and void for us, and we close that door.
Turkey and Israel were working on mending their relationship before the start of the genocide in Gaza. Remember when Israeli President Isaac Herzog visited Ankara in 2022? It was a big deal because no Israeli president had visited Turkey in 15 years. But despite the efforts to patch things up, tensions have lingered. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan kept advocating for Palestinian rights, and rightly so. But obviously, this put a strain on the Turkish and Israeli relations. Then Israel launched a brutal offensive in the Gaza Strip, and the Turkish people saw it as nothing short of ethnic cleansing. Erdogan didn't hold back. He compared Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to Hitler, and even started to initiate a case against Israel at the International Court of Justice. Now, Turkish and Israeli relations have gone from bad to worse. Turkey has made it illegal to import or export anything to or from Israel. This has come after Israel refused to let Turkey send humanitarian aid to Gaza. So all trade between Turkey and Israel has now come to a screeching halt.
President Erdogan speak to his comments. We don't have to agree with everything he says on every issue to still maintain the fact that he is an important NATO ally.
As for the Americans, well, they're not exactly thrilled with Israel's genocidal actions, but they're struggling to put enough pressure on Netanyahu in order to end the genocide against Palestine.
The president seems to have said to the prime minister today, make these concrete changes or else. It's the or else that I want to make clear here. Is the president threatening to withhold aid to Israel if they do not make these changes?
The president made it clear that our policies with respect to Gaza will be dependent upon our assessment of how well the Israelis make changes and implement changes to make the situation in Gaza better for the Palestinian people.
Turkey is unhappy with both Israel and the United States, even cancelled Erdogan's visit to the States, so President Erdogan will not be flying out to Washington on the 9th of May. It's a smart move, as Israel is planning to further their genocide with an offensive in Rafah, Palestine. And let's say Erdogan did visit Washington on the 9th, then Netanyahu would have probably conducted the offensive on that day, which would have made Erdogan look terrible by shaking hands with American politicians who unconditionally support Israel. It's a messy situation, and it doesn't look like it's going to get resolved anytime soon. If Israel continues its offensive in Gaza, Turkey may even escalate its response. The vast majority of Turkish people not only oppose Israel's illegal occupation of Gaza and Palestine in general, but also Erdogan himself is against any attempt to establish an alternative Palestinian government without Hamas. Whether this situation will lead to a military confrontation between Turkey and Israel, it all depends on the developments in Gaza. My dear friends, it is fascinating that trade between Turkey and Israel, amounting to roughly $9.5 billion, has suddenly ground to a halt. I can't help but wonder, why now? Why didn't they stop it when the genocide against the Palestinian people first began? Yes, I'm talking about 1948. Personally, I think this is a step in the right direction, and it should set an example for other countries to follow, especially those in the Gulf region. You know, those obese kings of Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain, along with their so-called Islamic scholars who are nothing but puppets and lapdogs of the regime. They keep blabbering about how trade with Israel is perfectly fine and how boycotting is haram, forbidden. Well, maybe now they'll finally wake up. Thanks for listening to the Independent Islamic Republic. Assalamu alaikum, have a wonderful night.